Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest in the Phase 3 Meet series. This week, it's my absolute pleasure to be joined by Martin Eade. Now, Martin is the Vice President of the HCM Division at Advanced. So we should have lots to talk about today. Martin, how are you? Thank you very much for joining me today.
Hi, Assad. Yeah, I'm very good. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it. And yeah, I'm very good. It's just been very, very busy.
I can imagine. It's a mad world, this space at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why don't we start like we always do? Why don't you kind of tell everyone watching all about Advanced and what it is you guys do?
Yeah. So Advanced, we're one of the largest UK headquarters software businesses. So we focus on ERP, finance, people, and spend management. So I, as you alluded to, I'm accountable for the HCM components and lead the Advanced HCM Division. But we're also a provider of vertical specific software, so to health and care, legal and education segments. Yeah. And we're not known to everybody in the public, but we actually provide the technology for the 111 service. So we played a massive part in coordinating and mobilizing all of the huge efforts during the pandemic. We've got about 2,700 colleagues. And we've got operations in the UK and Ireland, across Europe, but also North America and Australia. We're privately owned. We've got two of the largest private equity investors, Vista, who are the US based, and they focus very much on world-class enterprise software businesses. And then we have BC partners who are based in Europe, but they have a more general investment focus, but actually have co-invested with Vista in a couple of other businesses. So I guess we're really lucky that we've got amazing backing from two fantastic investors.
It sounds like a great position to be in, a nice little spread across the verticals. And I'll be honest, even I didn't know about the 111 software that you guys provide. That must have been exciting. Maybe exciting is the wrong term to use, actually, but an interesting period over the last few years then.
Yeah, it changed our focus, but overnight. We had to sort of mobilize and build out some really incredible features to help, especially with the the retired doctors base that came in to help the country. So we mobilized something within about 3 weeks to help coordinate that. So yeah.
Wow. Now, my next question kind of links in with that, I suppose. Obviously, the last couple of years, seen a huge change in the kind of shift in the workforce. I think you mentioned kind of 2,700 employees around the world there. So how have kind of Advanced managed that change internally? And I suppose you can probably just add into that, if you have the detail around it, the 111 kind of mobilization and how you managed to kind of deliver such an exceptional service.
Yeah, I mean, like many businesses, we absolutely and quickly implemented a fully hybrid working setup. Yeah. I think the key is, though, it's not just about moving everybody to work from home. It's, we really did take the time to consider how we could make that successful using that operating model. So, we balanced that. We've repurposed many of our offices as well. It's not just about having people at home. But we've certainly had to accommodate, more collaborative working environment in our office space. From a working from home perspective, we absolutely, focused around employee engagement. So it's all about, and we all talk about it, but we really have consciously taken the time to listen to what our people are saying and implement strategies to help support them. I think well-being, we talk about it a lot, and we should, but that in particular has been really, really important at Advanced. So we've came up with a few initiatives. I think something that was very successful last year. Our CEO actually drove an initiative where we had summer Fridays. So it was a way of thanking everybody for their commitment and efforts during the pandemic. We essentially closed the business at 1 o'clock every Friday for July and August.
Excellent.
So it was a great way to give a bit back to the team, and we all got to spend a bit more time with our families and have that sort of long weekend approach. So it worked very well. We were able to sort of continue to run the business, service levels. People that did have to sort of stay in and support the business, we gave them half a day elsewhere. So everybody got that time back. And we're going to run it out this year as well. It worked so well, and it just lifted the morale and the spirit around the business.
What's really interesting about that time as well is that everybody, although it's really, really difficult for all businesses, a lot of businesses, the kind of everyone kind of came together, didn't they?
Yeah.
You know, to do what was needed to get past that kind of terrible time, wasn't it?
It absolutely was. And the point I made about the 111 service, that was a pre-existing agreement, but we had to make a lot of changes and help the NHS essentially to be able to run things. So we were able to repatriate some of the resources. Like every business, there were certain services and certain products in our business where you take a hit, right? Retail was affected, hospitality gets affected. So there's lots of different areas where things were did sort of sit still, but that was an example where we could repatriate resources from around the business to deliver something at breakneck speed of a very high quality. So we're very, very proud of that.
No, absolutely, you should be. You absolutely should be. Now, in terms of your workforce and obviously your customers' workforces, what in the terms of the solutions that Advanced offer from a HCM perspective, how do they kind of manage to make the workforce better, or to manage the workforce better?
Yeah, so I mean, well, we saw something. Some of our solutions, we thought about it at an internal level, so within our own business, but also these are products and pieces of software that can help our customers. So I'll give you one great example. We invested a lot of money buying ClearReview. We acquired that business 16 months ago. So ClearReview is the performance management tool, and we rolled it out internally, and that's all about continuous performance management rather than the outdated annual review. And by default, what that leads to is much greater engagement from our managers and other people's managers to their teams. So we were able to act much quicker when needed. So that helps you, not just at an operational level, looking at people's objectives and that type of thing, but also it allowed us to really help diagnose any concerns we had around anyone's well-being. So if anything, using our own technology and our customers as well using our technology, we've been able to engage even more with our people. So some of the feedback I've had from not just my colleagues at Advanced, but from customers as well, is that even though we're all remote, we're actually in some respects communicate more effectively remotely than we do sat next to each other in an office. So it's not as good as seeing people face to face, but it's certainly we've used our tooling to drive the right behaviours.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think video calls, Teams like this are as good as kind of face to face.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's proven a model can work.
Absolutely.
And teams are still being very effective. I can speak with 100% kind of clarity about my own team at Phase 3, and honestly, the delivery of the team has been absolutely amazing. All remote. I'm sat in the office today, and there's a few people in today. We've opened up again, but it's still very much a kind of flexible offering, really. And it's never going to go back to a 5-day-a-week job, is it? I don't think now.
Absolutely not. Yeah, as I said earlier, we've repurposed some of the office space, so we've probably got less desks in our offices, but more collaborative areas. So when we do get people in, people are actually more engaged, and it feels like a better way of working actually. So
and they're happy to be there, aren't they? Maybe a day a week, 2 days a week, couple of days a month, whatever it is. They want to be there, and the mood is lifted. And it just feels that much better, doesn't it?
Totally. I'll tell you what's interesting though. It's there are people within the business, every business, that have had to continue sort of being out and about, and you get a few unsung heroes. We certainly have a few of our engineers that look after some of the access control hardware that we've got, and I've heard stories of during the pandemic, people travelling out to some of the remote islands in Scotland and taking equipment across in a paddling boat, believe it or not, and staying 2 nights over the weekend because they can't get a trip back till Monday. Just going the extra mile. So there's been all these war stories almost, that have come out, and it really does highlight how committed, across every business, but certainly I've noticed it within our business, these people that have just got on with it and really rolled their sleeves up. So yeah, it's been challenging, but I think it's sort of I think it actually has made everyone quite strong, as a business and as a team.
Absolutely. And kind of staying on the same topic, Martin, where do you think the biggest shift has occurred in the kind of HR, the people space over the last few years and during this period that we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, yes, a lot's changed, right? So I think I think for me, the last couple of years has seen that bit of a shift in power in that employee-employer relationship.
Yeah.
So I think as home and remote working, we just talked about it, it's grown, I'd say popular, but also it's been a necessity. I think what it's done, we've seen a massive change in the way that we all think about our work-life balance. And there's been a lot more focus on that. So I think the expectations as an employer have probably changed quite significantly. And I think that actually has led to a bit of a change in the balance of power. And it certainly means that it's the employer now that has to really focus on investing in the employee experience, which is great. So, if you want to be able to, any business wants to continue to attract great talent and retain people because they love working there, then you have to think a bit differently. So ultimately, I guess that's going to be the difference now in getting that competitive advantage over the next decade.
I did an interview with the company a few weeks ago, and one of the things that I said was that imagine you've got 2 job offers, and one of the exact same job, exact same salary, same perks, same everything. One of them says you have to come in the office 3 days a week, and the other one says you can come in whenever you want, you don't have to come in at all. Which one are you going to go for? Very few people will go for the first option because why would you? You don't need to anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that is a huge shift in the dynamic, isn't it?
I think it changed, really went really extreme one way, and I think it's come back a bit. So I think everyone at the start was like, this is different, and I don't have to get, I don't have to get dressed. So people sitting there with a shirt
and the pajamas on and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And a dog barking in the background. And all the jokes we've heard about, you're on mute, all that stuff. Yeah. But I think what started to happen after that was it became more of I just need to be in an office. I want to be back in the office. And then I think it's sort of it's nice to get back in the office, but I like the choice. And so I think it's sort of come to this sort of hybrid model that we find ourselves in. So, I mean, personally, I like being able to work from home. Am I more effective when I get in the office with people? Probably. Do I enjoy getting out and about meeting customers again? Yeah, I do. So I think it is a bit down to the individual, but I think there is definitely a balance. And I think we all have to meet somewhere in the middle.
But I do think that middle ground is still being driven by the employee. And the hybrid model, that's here to stay. We all agree with that. That probably is the best approach, part office, part home. But the determining of who decides whether it's when you're home and when you're in the office, I think is still very much in the employee's hands.
It is, yeah. And I think just talking to lots of different people like we do when we talk in our networks, I still think there's an element of confusion from a lot of people in different businesses that don't quite know, is this okay? I haven't been in the office for 2 months. Is that okay? So I think there needs to be a little bit of guidance, but I think it's going to just take a bit longer and a bit more time. And I think the other element is just understanding people's feelings a bit as well. Some people are genuinely quite nervous still about getting back into the workplace. And and in fact, you think about people that have joined businesses during a pandemic that may have not even met anybody yet. So they've spent a year in a business where they haven't met face to face. That's quite a big shift.
We've got a few people like that in our business. I still haven't met them. Yeah, see them maybe on a Teams call like this, but I haven't actually met them face to face.
Yeah,
so
that's hard.
Really.
Yeah, we acquired a business in Ireland 16 months ago. It took me 10 months, well, longer actually, probably 12 months before I actually met any of them face to face. And it was a shame, really, because you think just sitting in a room sometimes around a table, you build a better rapport and you can build that trust. So it's been hard, but I think generally, I think most business have done really well to get through where we are now, and I think it's been quite a refreshing change the way we work. If we'd have sat there 3 years ago and looked into the future, we wouldn't have believed what we were doing. So I think it shows you just how adaptable we are and how good our technology is now that we're able to operate and carry on the way we have. Yeah. So I think we're quite lucky.
Tech's been a huge enabler, hasn't it, during this period as well? So, and tell us, what does the future hold for Advanced then, Martin, over the next kind of 12, 18 months? What are you guys working on? What should we look out for?
Yeah, so, we're just absolutely going to continue to invest very heavily in our product development. and I think going back to some of the stuff we've talked about is really, in particular, we're looking at how do we build software that's going to help have a really positive impact on people and their lives. And I suppose you could say, how do we positively impact how people feel when they're at work? So we're expanding our investment in customer success as well, just to ensure we get that balance right between, of course we're going to grow our business, we all want to do that, but it's just getting that balance, making sure we're investing in our customers and making sure they're getting that real value and adoption out of our solutions. So from a HCM perspective, we're working really, really hard to build a composable HCM solution. So we want the best of breed software across, core HR, payroll, the hiring process, performance management, and learning. But we want to make sure it's all connected in a very useful way. So, at a strategic level, we're going to carry on looking at where the opportunities that are out there to either buy businesses, build on what we already have, or look to partner to just really develop our suite. And I think what I've learned, I've really learned this over the last couple of years. It's not good enough to just say we do what everyone else does, but we do it better. We it's all about solving the key challenges that we mentioned at the beginning. So it's all about integration, innovation, and just make things easier for people. So that's essentially what we're focusing on.
That's got to be key, isn't it? Making things easier for people. I love that line. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, excellent. We're going to move on to the quick fire round, Martin. So be prepared.
Yeah.
I'll start off right nice and easy with you. What's your favorite movie?
See, I should say something that's very educational that people go, oh wow, he's thoughtful and he's a deep thinker. I'm going to tell you the one I enjoy the most because it just makes me laugh a lot is Step Brothers.
Yeah, okay.
We just love it. It's not the most cultured view, but it certainly takes me away from the real world. Sometimes it's good fun.
You know what, you need that though, don't you?
Yeah,
you need that. I go yesterday. I got home I was in the office yesterday as well. Got home. There was my kids are on half term and they'd gone out somewhere with my wife and sat there on my own. I thought, flicking through some stuff. Only Fools and Horses was on.
Oh, classic.
And I'm like, I've got to watch this. I watched half an hour. I just sat there laughing. I've seen it 100 times. I know exactly when the jokes are coming up. I know exactly what's going to happen. It doesn't stop me. Just that release, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. Yeah. There's many great films, but I agree with you. Bit of a laugh sometimes, just
can't beat it, can you?
Just clears your head, doesn't it?
Absolutely. What's the best thing you've bought so far this year?
Crikey. Best thing I've bought this year. I bought a new car, so that's probably the best thing I've bought.
Nice. Okay. Are you a car man? Is that your kind of thing?
I like to think I am, but I'm bored within about a week. So, and then do I wash it every week? No, I don't. I like the idea of having nice cars.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I can't sit here and say I'm a car man.
Yeah. Is it the chase? That's the excitement.
Yeah, it probably is actually. I look at them. I look at what I want to buy. I go and buy it, and then it's like it sits on the drive, and I drive it sometimes. But no, I do enjoy driving a nice car. But I wish I was a bit more sort of a car man, as you say.
I love cars.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about cars. I've got friends of mine who are mechanics, and they've just always been into cars, and they know all the details and all the all the bits and pieces around it. I don't know. I like the look of that car. That car looks good, and I know it's pretty fast, so I like that one. That's about the level of my knowledge.
Yeah, I always laugh because there's one of my best friends. He's the same as me. He's got some lovely cars, but he knows nothing about them. And his first question to me was, "How many cup holders has it got?" It's you're talking to the wrong guys, right? So,
cup holders has it got? I love that. That's brilliant.
Technical.
I think I said. Yeah. Okay, we're going to go back a few years here, Martin. What was your favourite subject in school?
Oh, that's quite easy for me. I mean, I love the obvious stuff. I love PE, football, my game. But I have to say, I loved English. Absolutely loved it. And that's right. Always have done. And I think it was because I found it quite easy. It came easy to me, so I was good at it. And I think there were other subjects I had to work harder at, so I wasn't as confident in front of my peers. But with English, it was like my thing that I loved. And I loved reading when I was a kid. I don't read enough now. I was brought up to read a lot, and I quite enjoyed it actually. So I loved writing. And even like now that my children over the years that have had sort of English homework, I'm not afraid to say I've probably helped a little bit on a few things.
Yeah, I think it's what my eldest is doing their GCSEs, and she's taking business studies. So she goes, "Oh, Dad, you better help me with that one." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I will." I mean, Doddle, I did a couple of questions for her, helped her with a couple of questions about a year or so ago, and she got really bad results in it. And I'm like, "You're teachers that know what you're talking about. What I helped you with was brilliant." I said, "It's your teacher's fault, nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
it's the teacher's fault." Yeah, blame the teacher.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, are you a morning or an evening person, Martin?
I'm morning actually. I probably annoy the whole household. I'm wide awake.
How early?
It's not necessarily how early. I don't get up at silly hours, but it's how awake I am at that time, and I'm probably a bit too much. Certainly for some people need a few coffees before they can talk to me in the morning. I probably get my best work done early. By the evening, I'm ready to sort of hit the sack and go to sleep. Are you?
Yeah. Mornings are just not for me. I could do it if I had to, but I much prefer most of my good thoughts and ideas and kind of innovation comes kind of in the evening on a walk or playing football or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's funny, isn't it? How I hit a bit of a wall, and I have to have a coffee at about 3:30, 4, and then I'm back in the room. But yeah, I certainly I can get straight up and I'm ready to go. Cool. A bit like a Jack in the Box, but quite annoying if you're living in
brothers. I can imagine. Yeah. And then final question, Martin. If you could have any job in the world, what would it be?
Cool. Any job in the world.
Doesn't have to be like be anything.
Yeah, I would be the manager of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and I would rip it to pieces and fix it.
Are you a Spurs fan? Ah, okay.
Yeah. I could say I'm only 21 and look at me, but that's being a Tottenham fan, unfortunately. So, tons of promise, just no substance, unfortunately.
So you'd want to be the manager and you'd want to work under that owner.
To be honest, maybe that's the point. Maybe I want to be the owner.
Maybe the owner's better, because I think the owner is the actual problem.
You're right. Yeah, you're very right. Because I wouldn't last 5 minutes if I was the manager, right?
Do you know what it is? I just don't. Tottenham, my kind of second team. Or I'm a United fan. As viewers of this series will know, because I always any excuse to talk about football. Yeah. And we're screwed at the moment. You guys aren't doing any better necessarily, and it's just really sad. It's sad to see. You guys have always played. At least you played half decent football.
Yeah.
That was the thing with Spurs growing up. They might not win it. Might have an FA Cup run or something, but you always played the right football. You're not even doing that anymore.
No, we're not.
Horrible to watch.
The problem is as well, because of the money in the game. You think the problem with Tottenham now, they're almost unbuyable because haven't got the commercial, they haven't got the success on the field. Yet they've built this incredible stadium and invested. The valuation of the club is going to be too high for somebody to even want to probably put their money down, and the owners aren't going to want to sell cheap. So we're in a bit of a. I'm getting used to the ride at the moment. It's not fun. So
one final question after the final question, just because we're talking football: sell Kane or keep Kane this summer?
I sit a little bit on the fence with that one, but I think probably sell him now. And I think we've already lost the top value for him. So
that would have been last summer, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But we then waste the money on average players. So what do you do?
That's the thing. The thing. As much as I love football, I know you're a very busy man, and you've made time to speak to me today. So thank you so much for joining me, Martin.
It's been good to speak.
Really appreciate you, and hope everyone understands a lot more about Advanced and get in contact. They can find you guys. Obviously, contact you on the website. Contact Phase 3. We'll tell you all about Advanced as well. And thank you again for joining me. And see you soon.
Thanks, Assad. Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.